This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
What a week in video games. My god, trying to keep this video to less than 20 minutes has been one hell of a task, so let's just get straight to it, starting with the juiciest stuff first. Elden Ring. Doesn't get much more juicy than that, does it? By now you may have heard that there are snippets of a leaked trailer doing the rounds. I can't show it to you because my channel would be immediately deleted, but it's out there. It's around 60 seconds worth, only it's someone filming a screen of the trailer, and it's on an angle and it's really blurry. If you want my advice, don't bother looking for it, just wait until it's fully released, which should be soon, as it appears as though Bandai Namco will be hosting some sort of live stream event to mark the announcement. Finally, we get to see what this game looks like. Can't wait. Now, we knew it was coming, or at least I did. Anthem is dead. Some weeks back, it was revealed that EA were evaluating the work that's gone into the rebuilding of the game after its disastrous launch. The BioWare team made their pitch to EA's senior leadership, and it did not go how they had hoped. BioWare this week released a statement formally announcing that the development of the game would cease. Anthem was officially dead again. Anthem, javelins die twice. I feel like this story warrants more words, but like we've talked about Anthem for so many years, you guys know all the talking points. It's sad that it ended up this way, but we all know why, and the hope is that the industry learns from this. There are signs that that might be the case, because as we learned that Anthem was dead, we also learned from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg that EA and BioWare were making a huge pivot in the development of the next Dragon Age. If you've been paying attention to it, you might have heard the collective groan when it was announced that the next Dragon Age was going to be a live service, something absolutely no one was asking for a Dragon Age game. Like, not a single person in the world, no one wanted it to be a live service game, but they were making a live service game. Anyway, because Anthem bombed so badly, and because Jedi Fallen Order sold so well, EA loosened the reins, and now BioWare are making a single-player, non-live service RPG. It's crazy that we have to be like, yay, for something that seems so basic, but here we are. Personally, I am much more excited for Dragon Age now, and I know I'm not alone in that. Finally, last bit of BioWare-related news, Henry Cavill may be working on a Mass Effect-related project. He posted a blurred image on Instagram, but the internet cannot be outmaneuvered. People de-blurred it to reveal a whole bunch of Mass Effect-related words like Cerberus, Geth, and Tali Zaraya. As impressive as it might be for Cavill to have held the roles of Superman, Geralt of Rivia, and Commander Shepard, none of these roles compare to his greatest performance, that time he built a PC while wearing a wife beater. It's time for your favorite This Week in Video Games segment, the part where we dump on Stadia. This week in Stadia failure, Jason Schreier is back, revealing just how badly Stadia was and is being managed. In addition to missing sales targets by hundreds of thousands of units, Stadia overproduced their controllers, resulting in them just giving away controllers for free because it would have been cheaper to do that than to store them in a warehouse. More damning is the reveal that Stadia was splashing absurd amounts of cash to get ports of big games onto their platforms, including tens of millions of dollars to get Red Dead 2 on there, and $20 million to secure just one Ubisoft game. Now that is a microtransaction that Ubisoft can get behind. Worse, Stadia's recent decision to abandon all first-party game development was ill-timed, not only because it didn't give those studios enough time to, make some games, but also because they were in discussions with Hideo Kojima to make a Stadia exclusive. Now listen, I hate Stadia, but even I'm gonna sub for a month to check out a Kojima game. It's not all bad though. Remember a few weeks back when the Terraria developer announced that they were cancelling their Stadia port because Google had locked up one of the developer's Google accounts? Well, Google unlocked that account, and now the Terraria port is back. Stadia is saved. It's got one game coming to it now. Congrats, Phil Harrison. You are nailing it, buddy. Okay, Pokemon time. Here we go, boys and girls. There was a Pokemon live stream thing that happened. The first big announcement was that Diamond and Pearl are being remade. They're going to be called Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and people are happy about this news because those games are much loved. Lots of excitement there. The other big announcement was that the Pokemon Company are finally releasing the open world Pokemon game that everyone has been begging for years now. We saw the trailer. Now I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the words knowing full well what it's going to do to the like ratio of this video. I'm going to say it. You ready? This looks terrible. Oh my god, who the hell thought it was a good idea to release this trailer? This looks like a PS3 game at best. It's running at like 20 frames a second at best. It looks so bland and boring, and anyone that dreamed that this would be to Pokemon what Breath of the Wild was to Zelda, I mean, you could pretty much bin those expectations right now. Anyway, I have a rather antagonistic relationship with the Pokemon community because I'm like, hey, you guys deserve better. And Pokemon fans are like, shut up, no we don't. Alright man, whatever, I'm not going to touch that, just you do you. The other big showcase this week was Sony's State of Play, featuring a look at a whole bunch of upcoming PS4 and PS5 titles. It was a pretty good show. We got word that Crash Bandicoot 4 was coming to PS5 on March 12th. We got an in-depth look at Housemarque's upcoming Returnal, which is looking fantastic by the way, and I'm super pumped for that one. Knockout City got announced, which I feel is like, we've seen this kind of game like 4 times in the last 2 years, but this is another one. Sifu looks really cool. It's a kung fu game from the people who made Absolver, which was already an excellent martial arts game. Solar Ash was revealed and it looks gorgeous. It's from the people who made Hyperlight Drifter, so no surprises there. We learned that Oddworld Soulstorm is actually coming to PS Plus as a free title in April, so that's nice. And we also saw new footage for Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and Deathloop, both of which look fabulous. The biggest reveals were saved for the end, of course, and this time it was all about Final Fantasy VII. There's a PS5 version of the remake coming, and it's called Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrade. It's part 1 of the remake series, but it also has an exclusive new chapter featuring Yuffie as a playable character. Kind of a dick move to make this new chapter exclusive to a platform that most people don't even own yet, especially when the game was originally released on PS4. This is one of those all too regular instances of Square Enix doing some very Square Enix things. There were 2 other Final Fantasy announcements that came after the show. The first was for, and I'm not joking here, a remake of the remake. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is a mobile game that tells the entire Final Fantasy VII saga, including the newly added content in the remake, and it tells it in the classic chibi polygonal styled art that the PS1 game had. So they make the remake, and then they demake it here for mobile. Now, if you thought that was crazy, then hold on to your butts because this shit is wild. In addition to that mobile game, Square announced another mobile game set in the Final Fantasy VII universe. It's called Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier, and it's a battle royale game featuring Final Fantasy VII characters, enemies, and summons. The thing is, it actually looks pretty fun. I want to play a battle royale game where I summon Ifrit or Bahamut to win chicken dinners, or more likely cup noodles. Anyway, no date on this yet, but man, what the hell is going on in this industry? My god. So, what got announced or delayed this week besides all the stuff we learned about in the State of Play and the Pokemon livestream? Well, first of all, surprise, Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC. The next installment in the Monster Hunter franchise was always understood to be a Switch exclusive, but Capcom announced this week that the game would make its way to Steam in 2022. It's unlikely that it will make its way to PlayStation or Xbox consoles, as Nintendo probably locked it in as a console exclusive. PCMR, riding high once again. You know what else is coming to PC? Days Gone, and it's soon, sometime between March and May. The open world zombie game isn't the most beloved game in the PlayStation portfolio, but I liked it. Incidentally, Sony have confirmed that we can expect more PlayStation games to make their way to PC. Bloodborne fans, if your condition persists longer than 4 hours, please consult your doctor. The announcement I'm most pumped about this week was the release date for Subnautica Below Zero. Subnautica is the shit, and I loved it, and the team have been working on this sequel in early access for a few years now, and it's finally hitting PC storefronts in 1.0 on the 14th of May. I cannot wait to repeatedly shit my pants in terror once again. There were some delays announced this month as well. Gran Turismo 7 was going to be a Year 1 PS5 title. That's not happening anymore, with Polyphony Digital saying that COVID has slowed development and they're moving the title to sometime in 2022. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Oof, this is bad. Now, this game was meant to ship in the next few months, and not only has this game been pushed until next year at the earliest, but they're changing the developer. In a tweet, it was announced that Hardsuit Labs will no longer be making the title. The developer is out. No word yet on who will be making the game, but yeah, this is not great. And the other delay, which I'm low-key happy about, was that Bungie announced that their next big expansion for Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, won't be arriving this year. Bungie have said they're setting more ambitious goals for that expansion and also working to fix some of the biggest problems in the live game. I'm down for that justification, and as a reviewer, I'm excited to know that the expansion won't be arriving in the crazy review window of September to November when like every single game comes out, so I'm okay with this. So what came out last week? Well, we had Persona 5 Strikers, only the reviews for that came out a while ago, so we all know how that landed really well. Persona fans are generally happy, though they recognize that this game is nowhere near as robust or ambitious as the mainline game. Again, don't play it if you haven't played Persona 5, as this is a sequel. Bravely Default 2 came out, and the reviews are pretty good at the time of writing. It's at a 77 critic score and an 8.6 user score. Press Start Australia scored at an 85, saying, quote, Bravely Default is a fun sequel that does its best to improve on its predecessor, while GameSpot scored at a 60, saying, quote, Bravely Default 2 asked me to put in the tedious work and lost some of the series' identity in the process. Curse of the Dead Gods, the Hades-like roguelike, saw a release and it did really well for itself. Positive reviews all around, including a 9 out of 10 from IGN. If you're interested to learn more, I strongly recommend the Whizfish review. He's an up-and-coming reviewer who just nailed the review for this title. I'll leave a link in the description below. Don't forget to drop a sub while you're over there. Breathage came out this week. That was a bummer. I reviewed it, and unfortunately, I can't recommend it. It had a lot of promise during its early access period, but the game does a huge 180 at the back end, and it really spoils things. Subnautica in space, this ain't. I'll leave a link to the review below. The other thing that hit was the Outriders demo, and whoa, Nelly, was that polarizing. A lot of people do not like this video game, pointing to its so-so shooting mechanics, its cringy story, and its flagrant abuse of the color brown. Myself, I liked it. I think the power fantasy was there, I think the loot game was immediately enjoyable, and I like the fact that it isn't a live service propped up by microtransactions. Anyway, have to reserve final judgment until the release in April, but for now, I'll leave a link to my impressions video below. So, what's coming out this week? Very slow week, like very slow. So if you have a PS5, you can finally play Yakuza Like a Dragon on the 2nd. That's good news, but given that you're statistically more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to get your hands on a PS5 right now, this probably isn't good news for many people. The other thing to keep an eye out for is Loop Hero. Now, this is Steam only, it's a dungeon crawling roguelike, and yes, it kind of looks really ugly, I know, but it's from Devolver Digital, and those guys really don't miss. And I've read some previews of this, and I've only heard great things. There was a Steam festival recently on, and Loop Hero had a demo, and it was regularly brought up as one of the best games playable during that entire festival, so take a look at it because it might surprise you. Speaking of stuff to check out, put this on your radar. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is in development right now from Team Reptile, and yeah, it's basically Jet Set Radio, except apparently these guys are doing parkour instead of skating, I guess to avoid the risk of being sued by Sega. But come on man, if Sega wanted to sue, they wouldn't struggle to mount a case here. This is Jet Set Radio, and I am so pumped for this because Jet Set Radio was perfection, and we need more of it. No date on this yet, but Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is coming to PC and other platforms when it's done. Sort of free stuff time, and good news, the sack is full. That sounds terrible. Okay, on Epic Games you can get Sunless Sea for a few more days, then it ticks over to Wargame Red Dragon. I know nothing about this title. It sounds like one of those games that your dad plays. Why would you call your game Wargame? I mean, they really could have dug a bit deeper there. Anyway, it's an RTS and it will be available on the 5th of March on the Epic Games Store for free. If you sub to Twitch Prime, you can get your hands on Blasphemous. Now, this is a 2D side-scroller action game with a creepy gothic setting, and people really love this. It's at around 90% positive rating on Steam. This is one of the rare instances of Twitch offering up good games, so be sure to snap it up if you're a Prime member. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to overstimulate anyone, especially the Bloodborne fans who are already there, but have you seen this PS Plus lineup this month? We have Farpoint, which is a pretty good VR shooter for those of you with a PSVR headset. We're getting Marquette, which might not be how you pronounce it, I don't know. Anyway, it's a brand new, never-before-released puzzle game from Annapurna Interactive, who have a very good track record behind them. We're getting Remnant from the Ashes. That game is awesome. It's basically Dark Souls, but a third-person shooter, and it's just great. I really strongly recommend this one. I'll leave a link to my review below. The headline act, though, is Final Fantasy VII Remake, just available as part of PS Plus. What the hell? Important to note, this version cannot be upgraded to the PS5 version because Square are doing Square things. Still, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake, one of the best games of last year, available as part of the PS Plus thing. It's kinda hard to look a gift horse in the mouth. Now, with such a strong showing from PlayStation, Xbox was not going to take this lying down. And when I show you this lineup of games, you're gonna know just how serious Xbox are about making Games with Gold the preeminent giveaway platform in all of video games. Clear your calendar, Xbox fans, because this month you are getting your hands on the classic Port Royale 3, the genre-defining Warface Breakout Cold Sun, the newly released Metal Slug 3, and the seminal Game of the Generation contender, Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse. It's a lineup so strong it prompted Paul Tassi of Forbes to ask, are these real games? Yes, they are, Paul. Yes, they are. All you Sony ponies out there are probably feeling really jelly right now, so how about we do our feel-good story to cheer everyone up? They said it couldn't be done, but science has finally found another way to port Skyrim. Yes, we already have Skyrim on every console, past, present, and future. It's been ported to fridges, and it's even been ported to Amazon Alexa. But now Skyrim is coming to real life because Modifius Games are making a Skyrim board game. It's still early in the crowdfunding process, but the developers are confident that with enough development time and funding, they'll be able to recreate at least 25% of Skyrim's known bugs and issues. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been the week in video games. If you've enjoyed yourself, then please hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment below with your favorite sub sandwich, 6-inch or foot-long bread type ingredients, toasted or not, I don't know. Let's get ourselves a Subway sponsorship or something. If you want to subscribe for more Subway sandwich related humor, the button is there, as is the notification bell, so you'll never miss a video. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next week.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Now, they are the single best place to go to if you want to build your own custom website. Building websites used to be really hard with lots of tricky tools. You need to hire people and administrators and whatever else and thousands of dollars. Not anymore. Now with Squarespace, you just create an account, you can log in, begin customizing one of their dozens of award-winning templates, and within minutes you have a professional looking website. They also have more advanced tools like SEO optimization, increasing your chances of being found online. They have things like calendars so you can schedule events. Heaps of stuff that just make it very easy to build your business or your community or just share your interests with the world. To get started, visit squarespace.com, and when you're ready to get serious, visit squarespace.com/skillup for a 10% discount on your first purchase of a website or a domain name. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching it. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing, and if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing, and if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.